Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. I want to show you where some stuff lives. We just have about, we're gonna stop for lunch at 11:30, so we really have an hour. So if you can survive an hour, you're gonna be great. At kevinhoneycutt.org, there's a rocket over on the left, and I don't tell anyone else about this. This is sort of insider stuff, but if you click the rocket, it takes you to one page, and if the internet's not working, it will take you to a page that describes the philosophy, and it has links to all of the Launch Me lessons from the road, all in one place. There will soon be a community where we can share what we're learning as we go. As soon as I can put together a whole other community, or outsource that to one of my friends like Dean over there, who will build it probably for me, right, Dean? Yeah, cool. So anyway, that's there. Okay, so some of this, guys, you're either going to believe me or you're not, but you're here, so I think you might kind of believe me. I want to tell you what I think the anatomy of a great presenter is. Having 8 years on the road presenting isn't what I'm talking about. 8 years on the road watching other presenters is what I'm talking about. I study hard. I watch failure. You ever watch someone fail and you're wriggling in your skin, you're embarrassed for them? I get embarrassed on behalf of other people. One episode of Little House on the Prairie, they used to do terrible things to Laura's character. One day she wanted boobies, and on the way to school she picked 2 apples off a tree and put them in her dress. She got to school and she's talking in front of the room, and one apple fell out and rolled down the aisle excruciatingly slow, and Willie said something. And I need therapy over this moment. You know what I mean? It wasn't even me, and it destroyed me. And I thought of things I'm not going to do, like fake it in front of an audience. Because if you fail, you're going to fail all the way. That's one thing. And then watching other people fail. Look, you ever watch a kid fail? And look, you don't glory in that. You don't want it to happen. You want to help. Part of this work is that I want to help other people not fail. If I can help you not step in poop, I want to help you. Step slightly to the left. There's no poop there. Thank you. You don't even know, right? So as I'm watching them fail, I'm thinking, why? And I'm taking notes. Why? So if you're watching a bad presentation, we were talking about this, it's hard to be in the front row watching someone do it badly, right? You're sitting there going, God, they're killing the audience. God, they're killing the audience. But write down why. Why? When did they go wrong? Where? I find that people who come from agencies who love their own press, they're self-congratulatory and they're in their own bathwater, I call it, incestuous in their thinking, and they just assume everyone wants to be there. If you've ever had a job that everyone who comes to you had to be there because of recertification, you better change your thinking. Because when they're your customer and they have the right to get up and leave, they will. And this will surprise some people. They leave the State Department, now they're working at ESDAC, where we have to have our customer love us or we're fired. I like our model. It has to be good. We have to build stuff teachers love or we're done. You get about a year to figure it out and we can't carry it. So we're entrepreneurial. If education was entrepreneurial, I think we'd have a better result. But if a person can keep a job just by keeping a job, well, that'll teach you all the wrong lessons. So the people that are worse that come to Launch Me are the ones who are sure they're great because they've always had big audiences of people who have to be certified. They hate you, but they're smiling at you because they're scared of you. Okay? I want to think different. I want the audience to love what you do. We were talking, Elaine and I were talking about this notion of being in the audience and seeing something go wrong. What was the thing that we talked about? There was something we talked about that was just all over. Do you remember?
About what was wrong?
Yeah.
The apologize.
Oh my God.
I just got up, I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning and...
Apologizing. How many of you have ever seen a presenter apologize? Oh, I'm sorry, this hand don't sound exactly right. Yeah, I stayed up too late and I just really didn't start preparing for this till yesterday. Why would you tell me that? I dropped your sandwich in the kitchen. I wiped it off, but here it is. It's got hairs on it, man. Don't tell me that. I should think I'm getting something I don't even deserve. I'll tell you, Launch Me trainings are going to cost a lot more the next time I do them. You're in the proof of concept phase, so low budget. Now, why am I telling you this? So you all go, God, I got a whole bunch of worth for just that little bit of money. Yeah, it's worth a lot because it's 8 years worth of hard work and I'm giving it to you in 2 days, right? Well, what did I just do? I framed this as it's a great thing you got to come to. I'm not going to apologize for it while you sit here. Makes you want to get up and leave. So that's one. But while you're talking to each other, there's all these lessons we've all learned out there when we had our butts handed to us. Talk about that to each other. Be insiders for each other. A good A great presenter tunes to people. They don't make people tune to them, they tune to people. That doesn't mean totally changing who you are, but changing your vernacular. Now, I'm an extreme example of this. My boss said, when I first said about doing launch meeting, he said, people can't just be you. And that's why I worked my butt off, because I know that's true. I can't make you all into me. I'm somewhere between Joe Pesci and Robin Williams. By accident, that's just what I am. I'm not trying to make you that. Paul, you can't be that, but I've seen you be awesome. I've seen you be awesome. You know what I mean? I don't know if you present the way I know you can be, but I'm a theater director. 13 years of directing high school kids, junior high kids, and adults in theater taught me some things. The character doesn't come to you as the final thing on the audition, but it will get you there. And Elaine, you're not going to do this character like anyone else has ever done it, and it's still going to rock. We got to find what's in Elaine that makes the character and align it. If we do that right, you're going to win an Academy Award, and if we do it wrong, it's going to be the longest play of your life, right? The dream is parents say, "Oh my God, she was so typecast, she was perfect for the role." One time I had a mom do that to me. "Oh, wasn't Jean perfect? She was perfect for the role." I said, "No, she wasn't. You understand the excruciating amount of hard work it was to get her to be mediocre." Now she's good because I'm a good director. If you don't value that, you can fire me, right? She has to know that there was a process involved. And I worked hard to get Jean to become that. I had to talk Jean out of everything. She was giving away all the right stuff. I mean, the stuff you're best at, you're not bringing. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. You think it's vulnerability. I think it's strength. Strength. To stand up on the stage, knowing I have a bachelor's degree with a whole bunch of PhDs in the room, could scare the crap out of you. Unless you go someplace else. I go a place they can't go. I go to the hood. I go to the foster home. I go there first. Right? They know I know stuff. That's my authority. I claim it. I claim it. What's your authority? You've got authority. I bet it's better than you think it is. Right? But you're humble. You got to see yourself differently. From the outside as a product. If you were your own child, how would you advise you? I bet you'd see bigger stuff in you than you do in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Does this make sense to you? Right? Now think about those things you do as product that should be bought. Now, let me tell you why you should be bought. Becky, if you go in and present for a day somewhere, someone else didn't go there. And most of the someone else's, they suck. That means if I can get you in there, I can do more good for those people. They deserve you, and you deserve them. But right now, they're placeholder people getting the work anyway, and they suck. In staff development, there's a lot of suck. Do you agree? Raise your hand. There's a tweet. In staff development, there's a lot of suck. Right? It's a vacuum commercial, and we're talking about the Hoover. Right? Well, those people are getting work right now, and I selfishly want you to get the work instead. So I want you to be bold and push. They're creative, and they actually like it. I like it when everything goes wrong. Have you ever seen everything go wrong in someone's presentation? Were you at ISTE and saw me and Tammy?
Yeah. And you rocked it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
God was in heaven going, "I wonder what would happen if we took that away. I wonder what would happen if we took that away. Now Tammy's laptop doesn't work. Now Kevin's doesn't work. Now none of the slides they rehearsed. It's Tammy. We rehearsed. None of it's available."
But the image we got, I wasn't there. But I heard everybody tweet. And the image I got was you still knew what you were doing.
This is amazing.
Okay, so what does that mean? Well, okay, here's the problem with Tammy and I. Tammy's got her punt scenario, and I've got my punt scenario. I can take over on a whim and tell stories for an hour, and no one knows the difference. But if I do that, I took away everything Tammy was going to do. So the consideration was, how do I let Tammy be a star still under this circumstance? And so we were a little bit thrown. At the same time, we're role modeling how to stay cool in a crisis. Now, the truth is, your butthole is so tight, you can pinch out Reebok. There's a tweet. I'm causing cold fusion with my sphincter. But you don't role model that, because what are you telling teachers? When everything goes wrong, where's your punt scenario? If you role model for kids when everything goes wrong, you totally freak out. You just taught them that. No, man, stay cool. What's your punt scenario? It's in a manila envelope in your back pocket. I'll tell a few stories. Right? Everyone's cool with the fact that nothing worked. They've all been there. So don't freak out. You know, stay calm. Stay calm there. Be creative if you have to. That whole drawing on the paper, I had to do that because we didn't have anything else. So I just drew on a piece of paper on my chest upside down and pretended to be the kid who's doing a drawing for Mrs. Wooster. That just happened in the moment, you know. But I knew I could draw. You got the stuff you can do, your go-to stuff, right? Keep it close, right? Seize opportunity. So you're a whole room full of people, and I'm taking you apart. You think you're taking me, I'm taking you apart. Strategically, I'm looking at the audience. Now let me tell you what I know. These two guys here, I met them in Montana. They're fire peers. By the way, if I invited you here, if I told you to come here, you're a fire peer. I spot these people. They charge the hill, and they take out the machine gun nest, and they don't even know how to stop. They don't even know they've been shot. They go, oh, that's strong. Let's go. They just go, man. I love those people. You can't stop them. But these guys are a phenomenon where they are. I don't even think their church knows how good they are. But I want my boss to know, because you can come to Kansas and own, or anywhere else. You're better, and you know it. You got hungry eyes. I've watched you put your stuff together, and you care about the experience. You don't just build content. You build great experiences. I noticed that. I see all of you guys, and I want you here. You know what I mean? Because I think you're a cut above presenters. You know, how do we get you to be successful? Listens and reacts to people. Looking in their eyes and really, it's hard when you're nervous to listen, isn't it? Because you're so busy thinking about what you gotta do, you don't really listen, but you gotta. You look in someone's eye. Two things. Bill Clinton won an election by going halfway up your arm. This is what I mean. How you doing? I'm into you, man. Look how far into you I am. I'm touching pit hair. That's how far in. I'm this far in. And this forces me to be with you for a moment, to be present with you. Look, I know what you do with special ed. Some of the stuff you're doing is so exciting. I want to know more about that. I want to know how we can work together, okay? And for a moment, you felt a real connection. The truth is, you're going to meet 100,000 people. It's going to be hard to remember him, right? If he tweets you, if he follows up, you'll likely to remember. If we only see each other once a year, and this will happen to you, you'll be at a conference and people will walk up and go, and you'll go, crap. Kevin! How's it going? I'll get cheat questions. I'll go, hey, yeah, how's it going? And you can't say anything. How's your family? Remember? Single. Okay, so you can say that. Hey, man, how do you spell your last name again? S-M-I-T-H. Oh, yeah. Once you get the last name, sometimes the first name will come to you. I need an assistant that goes, Mr. President, this is the chief of state for the Ugandan government. You know, I need someone in my ear giving me intel like that. But most people understand, right, that you can't remember every single... I told one woman, I won't remember you unless you slap me in the face, and she hit me in the face. Hard. Some people are unhinged, you know? The sad part is I still don't remember her name, but I fear her. Connects with everyone. Connects with everyone. I so believe this. Like, I'm in the hall. I'm exhausted. I don't go back to the hotel room. I don't. I was in Nebraska at NEDA, that conference in NEDA. That's a big old conference, right? This is Nebraska. People love my content because we're from Kansas. The alignment's easy. If you're from the Midwest or you're from the hinterlands, you're probably going to cover most of the Midwest because you have a practicality in your stuff that really goes over. Also goes over in New Zealand and Australia because they're very practical people too. So you're probably more sellable than you know. Where it gets into niche areas is probably up when you're in Northern California, you get into a little more arts and you get into a little more creativity. When you get all the way up into Oregon, they're pretty advanced up there. So you got to raise your game and get your A material out, you know what I mean? Involve the audience when you're not sure. Let their expertise become what you facilitate when you don't know and you go into thin areas. But man, you can go some places and you got enough stuff to talk for 3 years and get hired for 3 years and it'll be good stuff every time. Right? But keep working on that stuff that goes across all lines. Connect to everybody. Talk to everybody. One time I helped the janitor set up the chairs before the conference people got there. I didn't know she was a janitor. I thought she was a conference person. So I set up 150 chairs. And I said, I just wanted to help you out. So she said, I'm a janitor. I said, oh God. I was tired. But hey, help everybody. Talk to everybody. How many of you go to ISTE? ISTE. Okay, so I do a lot at ISTE. And you see where I am at ISTE. Where am I at ISTE? The Bloggers Cafe, because that's where everybody comes, right? Everybody comes there. It's not some hallowed ground where the famous people hang out. It's everybody. And what do I have around me? A bunch of stuff that you just like and you want to take home with you that has my website. It leads back to you. If you saw ESDAC this year, how many of you saw our booth where we were blinging everyone's badge? Huh? What do you think of that idea? We hijacked the ISTE badge by blinging everyone's badge. Brilliant trailer park budget thinking. That every other person was going, God, that's a great idea. God, they were taking pictures of our stuff. We're crazy that way. We're MacGyver thinkers. You don't have to have $1 million to do a $1 million thing. ISTE's your chance. If you go to a national conference, I go with a plan. Brendan and I, our plan was we're going to make $50,000 at ISTE. It's going to cost us $7,000 to go. We're going to make $50,000. If you don't have that plan, you won't do it. Where's your half sheet? When I meet you, Nancy, and you hand me your half sheet that smells like your perfume, and I got a little crush, couldn't help it, got a little crush. I'm not throwing that away. Oh, she's so cute. When she smiles, it lights up the room. I like her accent just melts my butter. And here's her half sheet. It's the only thing that went home in my suitcase. Okay, so I put it on my desk. Superintendent goes, "What'd you learn at the conference we paid so much for?" Crap. Half sheet. "Oh, this Nancy, she's awesome, man. She comes into staff development. I'm just saying, she's really good." That's the only thing I tell him. You made it in. Get in the suitcase. How do you do that? I've met people who don't have a half sheet. Raise your hand if you don't have a half sheet. You need a half sheet. Okay, let's explain what it is. It's a half sheet of paper that's better than a piece of paper. It doesn't wrinkle too easy. It's on cardstock, and it looks great. And it's you doing what you do with a short menu of great services they need and contact information. You can put stuff on the back too if you want to. It's for some reason they got to keep it. At ISTE, how many half sheets do they get in their bag before they've even, when they register? How many half sheets are in that bag? A small tree. That all goes in the trash. Look, at ISTE, you know what I do? I look at all the trash things and I write down what's in them. You know what I find in them? Stuff they paid $1 million for. Promethean threw $1 million at marketing. Shirts for everyone, right? And most of it's in the trash. We went for low budget saturation bombing that got all the way back to their office. That was smart thinking. The difference between shotguns, you can't afford shotgun. Right? So I'm in the Bloggers Cafe because if you come to me, you just self-identified as a kind of a fan, and I'm going to give you a piece of swag. I'm going to sign it and make it personal. These are personal. I did them by hand. They mean more to you that way, right? Oh, yeah, Kevin Hackett made this. This was his first round before they outsourced. Yeah, only a few people have these. See, that's all I got. I got low budget. I don't got anything else, right? So I go for low budget. So your half sheet sells your best 4 services. What are the services? I want you to look at my best-selling workshops. And I'm just going to tell you, ISTE did this a couple of years ago. They asked people to put in titles for presentations. Remember when we all put our best titles in? They stole them all. That was brilliant. They got everyone's best titles and they stole them all just by doing that. I was mad about that. Because these are my ideas, because this is what wins. So you go to a site. Let's go to my trainings. This is all sort of carefully calibrated as he went there. I'm going to get on my own cellular wireless here in a minute because we're a little bit slow. But it wouldn't be a tech conference if we didn't have web issues. It happens everywhere. Okay, so I set this up like a menu, a la carte. Buy what you need, right? So challenges and opportunities for today's learning mind. That's my recent one. Moving away from all 21st century mentions, because that's old passé, no one wants to hear it anymore. Visionary leadership. If you take this, you're a leader who's visionary. Why wouldn't you take that? Everyone wants to be a visionary leader. So what a great title. That gets bought. Digital dumpster diving. That doesn't get bought. But it should. The PhD who's hiring doesn't see that as anything but fluff. The teachers would buy it. I know that, but I leave it on the page anyway because I'm teaching my customer what to want eventually, right? From in trouble to in business. Hey, I love that one. That one's sticky. I bet, Becky, you could sell that one for me. Well, because your customers probably, they need that. It meets them where they hurt and tells them what we could do for them, right? Powerful tools for challenging times. I know we're in a challenging time. Sell that. Powerful tools for challenging, that sells like hotcakes. I want you, while you're in this thing today, to start writing some things down. I know you do stuff, but you probably name it wrong. You probably name it exactly what it is, which is cool. Truck. Nice. You know? Some of it is a lifestyle. Freedom with the ability to haul stuff. I mean, that's what it is, right? So I want you thinking about how you sell it. But this stuff is on your half sheet, right? And you can you're going to constantly work on that half sheet. If your image changes, change your half sheet. I lost 45 pounds. I took new pictures. I sometimes like to show up and they go, Kevin Hackett? I love that feeling, right? Yeah, I'm human now. Thank you. I lost a person. Yay. Designing your digital legacy. Well, that doesn't sell yet. It's a great title, but it doesn't sell because no one knows what that means yet. Right? So what I sold first was things that you could do for kids, like staying safe online. Believe it or not, people buy that in droves. Then I get there and do something different than they expect. Right? But you got to get there somehow. Mentoring digital kids. That one sells. You know, mentoring digital kids. Social learning networks doesn't. It should, but it doesn't. It never has. Because they think social network, distraction. Learning. You don't see it. I can talk about it. Now, when can I sell it? While I'm winning, while I'm owning. I got the audience loving me, and then I can introduce it inside a presentation. How many of you pimp your stuff during the presentation? It's an art, and you got to do it carefully. You almost do it like, I got this site where I go out and I do a whole lot of consulting. Amazing things happen in the field. It's probably not interesting to you, but if it is, I have some half sheets. Anyway, so what I was saying, see how quickly I drove by that, but you know they're on that table over there, and you walk over there. If you walk over there, I'm going to walk over there with you. I'm going to get you in there, right? I'm going to guide you in. So where are the pictures of you and these services that you have? Time to Learn has never sold, but it should. What I do is I get with teachers, I show them a bunch of resources, and I shut up and give them time to learn. Every teacher loves that. Every administrator doesn't. I had an administrator one time during staff development say, these teachers are not on task. I said, what? They're all doing different things. They call it differentiation. Yeah. I didn't say that. I said, I know, but they're all doing important things for them. Trust me on this. And he didn't want to, but I could tell that's how he drove things. And that's why it sucked, but it's also why they needed me. That's why I made money. It's okay. I like when people like Microsoft because we're going to have plenty of work to do fixing things. Sorry. I just alienated. See what I did? I alienated half my audience. It's okay. Okay, so let's go to the third here.
Kevin, you put this on my iPhone case at ISTE. You branded this tattoo on my iPhone case, and it was personalized because you sat there and you wrapped it around, and that's what you're talking about.
Right.
I think that's the message. And I was watching you do it, and because you could have given that to me, but you took that extra minute and a half, 2 minutes to put this actually on my phone, and while you were doing that, having a conversation with 2 or 3 people at that location about this, what this does. So I think that's the connection.
Let's talk about that act, because Jim's been my friend for a while and he sees now what I do. When you first meet me, you probably think, what a random crazy guy. Look at the crazy silly things he's doing. It takes a while for you to realize I'm pretty strategic. Over on the table I have Tech 2s, more of those that you guys can take if you want. I only have a few left, enough for you guys, and we're done, because it costs to make them. But we're going to ISTE. We want to get our brand on your tech, because you're visible, and every time it's on your lid, you're advertising me. What a sneaky, sneaky thing to do, right? It also peels off. It's not permanent, but it feels sexy, like a tattoo. A tattoo. You went to summer camp and you got a tattoo. It's not even permanent. If the tech people yell at you, it peels off. But who doesn't want to come back from ISTE with a little bit of evidence? So that was our crazy thinking. Let's do these Tech 2s. First year we ever tried it was an experiment Ginger and I did, and Ginger pulled it off while I was on the road, thank God, and we went and just got this first round made. We actually had them sponsored by a vendor. So we made a sheet of them, and 1 out of every 6 was a vendor. The other 5 we got paid for. And that was an experiment. We'll probably do bigger, maybe next year, I don't know. But they fit on a phone, iPad, and laptop. Okay?
My favorite part, by the way, was when we were handing those out, we had more than one person say, oh, I so wanted to do tattoos this year, but we didn't, oh. And then all of a sudden next year they're a Johnny Come Lately.
That's right. And it doesn't matter if they copy you. Everyone knows you did it first.
And we didn't have enough time to create these before ISTE. No way did we have enough time, but you just got to push it through, otherwise you're the Johnny Come Lately.
Right. And when you get there, it's too late. A couple things I want you to know about me. I'm the carrot top of EdTech. See my suitcase? 50 pounds. 49 pounds, 0.6 ounces. A few more ounces and it costs an extra $100. I live under 50 pounds, excruciatingly, accurately. I have a scale. So what do I have in there? Everything that you don't. You're a great presenter too, but I have an unfair advantage on the road. I can put a concert together on a whim and make a digital jam in the evening that made their conference twice as good and memorable, and I brought it in my suitcase, and you're bringing me back. So this happened, I was in South Dakota, Mobridge, at the Holiday Inn. Yeah. And it was a Career and Tech Ed conference, and it was all the different, it was the home ec teachers and the shop teachers, and they brought me in and said, nobody's ever got these guys together, they never talk. I can do that. I can talk to them cowboys. I can talk to them home ec teachers. So I owned, and I showed them a bunch of stuff they could do. Then we had a dance, an ad hoc dance outside in the grass outside the Holiday Inn, and I projected karaoke on 3 stories tall on the side of the Holiday Inn. We tore the grass up and boot scooted until 2 in the morning, and they never forgot me. That crazy Kansas guy came in here. Those ag teachers have kegs. Home ec teachers, flasks. But hey, they were dancing together. We got them all together, and it was crazy and unorthodox. But because I had it in my suitcase, it's too late once you get there. Even if you want to, where are you going to get it? All right? So yeah, you bring extra stuff, and it weighs something. It all weighs, and it costs something. But man, you want to get there and blow people's minds. So Mike actually lets me do some crazy things, and one thing I did was I bought a light bar that lets me put a dance up and look like Def Leppard on a whim. So I got this light bar. I'd been to a Def Leppard concert, because I take my wife to these concerts, because I like how she acts for the next 2 hours. Just saying. Okay, so too much information. Okay, too much information. I'm watching Def Leppard, I'm going, what are they really doing? A great light show. It's really fun. We all get to feel like we're 16 again. How can I make my presentation do that? How can I have that moment? I'm in New York and I brought the light bar. The smoke machine doesn't work because fire codes and it sets off alarm. But the light bar works. So I got the light bar and you're making the fast friend of the local AV guys. They better like you. They can kill you if they don't like you. And this happened in New York. That guy was not nice to me. He didn't want to plug any of my stuff in. He treated me like I was poop on his shoe until after I did my thing. Now we're friends. But thank God I had everything I needed to do it anyway. You know what I mean? So you're going to live both ways. But in New York, they couldn't do enough for me. It happened at AESA too. These guys wanted to help. So we hook the light bar up, and I'm saying, when I get to this moment and I hit my guitar, I want the lights to go out and this to pop on in one moment, just like that. I just did it in Evansville too. The guys couldn't wait to do it. I said, wouldn't it be cool if, like, suddenly this wasn't staff development, it was a concert. Boom! When I went like that, spotlight, concert light, and I went, ba-da-ba, and the nerds had a nerdgasm. I mean, they went, they're holding up their lighter apps that I've never seen anything like it. This cost me $160 for a light bar that I get to use over and over again. And because I've done it, who can copy? So I got guitar, and guys, I'm not good. Do it anyway. Established. How many of you know a blogger who's not a good presenter, but they're famous anyway? Me too. You know why they're famous? They were there early. Get there. Claim it now. Get better as you go. Claim it now. Get better as you go. I practice guitar constantly. I really am not that good. But I bring someone else up and it's about them. And I just do some background stuff, right? It doesn't matter. I'm the guy on record, the ed tech guy that rocks. I wish I could. I do it anyway, right? It's part of my brand. So what are you guys part of your brand? You know, how do you really stand out in a crowded marketplace of people who want to do the same thing? What are you going to claim? Usually, if the old burial rites, what are you going to be buried with? If it was a Viking burial, whatever that stuff is, that's your accoutrement. You already got it. Stand beside it, whatever it is, you know what I mean? It might be a tool of teaching. It might be something else. Whatever it is. So, you know where? you know where to be and why. In a room like this, who do you talk to first? I see a lot of presenters, you know who they talk to? Other presenters. They're not even with the audience. They're hanging together with their peers. That you know those people already. Those are your customers over there. Go talk to them. Disappear into the audience. Talk to everyone. Mike, you know, when we go to AESA, he's a kind of shy guy on the sidelines. I dance with everybody. You know why I dance with people? There's women who haven't danced in 20 years. Their husband don't take them out. If I can dance with them, they're going to remember this, right? And I get how long to talk in their ear, and they feel good, right? So I don't let anyone be a wallflower. I'm going to dance with all of them. Right? My wife's cool with all that. And I said, Mike, help me, man. There's too many women here.
I thought he wanted me to dance with him.
No, don't get them all. Bring them out. They'll remember you. Bring them out and dance with them. Make everyone feel special. You know? Don't let anyone stand there very long. Sometimes I'll get the guys to dance with their wives because they feel guilty because I've danced with them 3 times. I go, man, get your butt out there, shake your money maker. Get out there. You're going to see me tomorrow night do this. I'm going to make sure no one's standing around. Dance. You came to the dance, now dance, you know? Empower people that way. Always in motion, you're going to be exhausted at the end of the day. You know? Yes?
One of the things I think that you just made me think of, because I would have never danced, ever, until I came to Flagstaff. And I don't do it anywhere else. But you created an environment where it was safe. And it makes me think that's what part of what you do and what we need to do is to create something where it's safe to be daring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now, you can't just do that. You've got to package and sell that. Okay, to do that, let's say I get away with doing that and it's a good thing. But only I do that, then it's not going to happen. But if I say, I call it something. The Digital Jam is called a Digital Jam for that very reason. Digital Jam is a low-stakes environment where we all have fun and start a band called Tweetwood Mac. But what I'm really doing is creating a circumstance under which everyone can have a good time. Around the periphery, everyone's talking about apps for education, Title I, special ed, social studies. But up here, it's a rock concert and no one forgets it. And I lure everyone up for the photo op because once I do that, I've turned you into an advocate on the record for EdTech. I do that on purpose. So that's why I bring the guitars and let you be that person. And some of you jumped in before you even knew what I was doing. I've got pictures of you guys up there rocking it out. Podstock is your chance to be on the record in a kind of a big way at that dance tomorrow night, okay? Grab those guitars, I brought 3 of them, and be part of that moment. And I tell people, no one can hear a photograph. So it doesn't matter if you suck. No one can hear a picture. For all they know, you were awesome. But it's good PR. And it shows that you're up there leading, right? You're not just sitting in the back waiting. This is a recreation of the Battle of Little Bighorn. I don't think Custer had a clue until it was too late. You ever have a staff development day where you feel like Custer? It can happen. It can happen when the person who hired you doesn't know their own people. Boy, they set you up for all the wrong things. You can't be Custer. I can't let you be Custer. You've got to really think this thing through. Part of that is alignment, getting there early, studying what really is. God, one of the worst days I ever had, they were rolling out laptops, one-to-ones, and they didn't give them to the teachers till an hour before I started. There were no access points set up. It was badly designed. The room was wider than this, right? And the screen was smaller than this, and they were sitting all the way out here, right? They hated their laptops because they didn't work. They weren't pre-configured or set up, and I'm the guy. Rescue that day when the administrator is sitting there with their arms crossed like you failed. Good God. I did, but I don't want to do it again, right? So everyone close your lids. Let's talk about those later. Right now, let's talk about what matters. Making connections with kids. I validated all of them where they lived, and then I went to the tech team and said, you got from now to lunch to make those work. I'm paying your bills. Now go fix it. And the administrator's never bringing me back because she didn't even know she failed. I can't fix that, but at least I help the teachers. You know what I mean? Can't fix everything, but I want to ask you this. What techniques, talk at your table, what techniques do you use to gauge the mood of the room? So this doesn't happen to you. What techniques do you actively use? Now I'm talking about once you start, to gauge the mood of the room that are instructive to you to make you a better presenter. Talk to each other about that, okay? Go.
I look for the people and start
But I would say that's probably the best. I don't know the same set of cards.
I want myself.
Right. Yeah, push it there. Right. You know, that's an easy one.
I have the conversation. I know I've got and they start out so they want to say, and then I try something and then I go to the end.
A little bit. Get to know people, share your story, let them share theirs, or if they have questions for you, you can answer them. I think that's really a good way to sell as well. We did that all day yesterday while we were traveling, and it helped immensely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I think that was really good.
What I like somebody
just did like ask you to talk to them out because you don't
find ways to engage it. You know, kind of like
are they
key in on that. Actually, right. I haven't really seen that part.
You know, even if you can't get out there,
that's a good thing. Body language.
yeah. I'll tell you, I'm so fortunate.
And I think we talked about this, is that and I, on the fly, you know, I was waiting to staff somebody else.
Yeah, 2 or 3 in a row.
And I feel like I can't do that. And really, I've done that for many years.
So ask some pointy questions. You know, like go up to them and like, maybe I don't know your name.
Tell me what you do.
You know,
Like,
You know somebody.